can do it. So Nelson's offer to aggregate pet channels as well as exclusive access to Petco and Pet Supplies Plus. Other pet retailers are also offered but are not exclusive to Nelson's. Scroll down to the comments to see more information on Nelson's offering. Thanks to one of our readers for updating us. I do not know the specifics of Circana's offering in this channel. I believe they have PetSense and PetSmart at a minimum. Nelson's seems to have the edge for the pet channel, but things change, so always check with both suppliers. Liquor. No national channel total available, but there are total liquor aggregate for several states or metro areas. Many individual retailers are available. Neither Warren and I have worked with data from this channel, so can't provide more details. Contact the vendors for more information. If any of your readers knows more about liquor syndicated data, please comment below or write us with info we can add and share. We don't know as much about how the spins channels are defined. We asked spins and they declined to provide any details on which retailers are currently included in their markets. Here's what we know about Spin's market. Spin's natural and organic supermarket. Full format supermarket with more than 2 million in annual sales, with at least 50% sales from natural or organic products defined by Spins, and less than 50% from supplements. This market from Spins does not include Whole Foods. Instead, Whole Foods is included in the food channels total offered by Nelson's or Circana. You can see Whole Food data separately. You can see Whole Food data separately in Nelson's only. The retailers included in this channel range from co-ops to associations to independent retailers to large regional chains. As mentioned above, Spins won't share specific on which retailers they currently work with, but Sprouts, as mentioned above, Spins won't share specific on retailers they currently work with, but Sprouts, Earthfare, Mrs. Green, and Fresh Time are examples of the type of retailers in my cover. garment, gourmet, specialty gourmet, Spain's specialty gourmet. There are also full format supermarkets with more than 2 million in annual sales. At least 25% of their volume come from Spain's defined specialty items. And these retailers have a strong focus on specialty, import, natural and organic items. Again, we were unable to extract any specific from Spain, but in the past, this channel has included chains like D'Agostino, and Bistro Farms. Agostino. D'Agostino. So a few more general points about markets. Wow. Okay. So of course, this is specific and important definition about the natural and organic product industry. Based on the test provided, here's the detailed explanation of a full format supermarket as defined by Spain. A full format supermarket in the Spain context is large, traditional grocery store that meets 3 specific criteria: physical size and scale. It is a full format store, meaning it has the size and layout of a conventional supermarket, similar to Safeway, Kroger, and Publix. Kroger or Publix, not a small corner store or a specialty boutique. Minimum annual sales. It must have more than $2 million in annual sales. This filter out smaller stores and ensure data covers significant retail players. Product mix focus. This is the most critical defining factor. The store's sales must come primarily from natural and organic products with a specific rule. At least 50% of its sales must come from natural or organic products as defined by Spain's proprietary standard. Less than 50% of its sales can come from less than 50% of its sales can come from supplements, vitamins, minerals, or herbs. Related to owning something, I assume he owned the place. He had a proprietary air about him. Proprietary goods are made and sent out by a particular company whose name is on the product. Proprietary medicine, owned and legally controlled by a particular company. This is proprietary software, and you have no right to copy it without a license from the owner. Why this definition matters? The strategic purpose. This isn't just a random category. This is designed to solve a specific problem for CPG brands that sells natural or organic products. It creates a like-for-like comparison. By setting this rule, Spins creates a distinct segment of large grocery stores whose primary identity is selling natural and organic foods. This allows analysts to answer a very specific question. How is my product performing in large format grocery stores that are dedicated to the natural and organic consumers? It excludes two other types of stores: conventional supermarkets, standard Kroger or Safeway might have a large natural organic section, but it doesn't make up 50%. But it doesn't make up 50% of their total sales. So they are excluded from this segment. Supplements, specialty stores. A store like Vitamin Shop or GNC would derive more than 50% of its sales from supplements. So it is excluded and will be tracked in Spin's alternative channel. Sobeys owned the Safeway Canada chain, which was sold to Sobeys in 2013 by the American Sobeys company. The Safeway USA stores remains a separate American company, a subsidiary of Albertsons. Albertsons have no ownership connections to Sobeys or Canadian Safeway stores. Two separate companies, Safeway in the USA and Safeway in Canada, are two completely different and independent businesses. Canada Safeway was purchased by Sobeys in 2013 and now is a full-owned and operated Canadian division of Sobeys. American ownership. Safeway in the USA is a subsidiary of Albertsons company. The only connection between two Safeway companies is the name and logo, and which were retained in Canada after the sale to Sobeys. The Whole Foods clarification. The text makes a crucial point. This segment explicitly excludes Whole Foods. This may seem counterintuitive, since Whole Foods is the most famous full format supermarket. Selling natural and organic products. The reason for this exclusion is due to data rights and reporting. Whole Foods reports its data to Nielsen's IQ, not directly to Spins. Therefore, Whole Food data is incorporated in the Nielsen's IQ standard grocery or total food channels. But Nielsen's IQ has data. The they can also offer it as a separate standalone. But Nelson's IQ has the data. They can also offer it as a separate standalone retailer analyze for clients who want to see just whole food performance. In practice, this means if you are a natural food brand analyzing your SPINS data, the full format supermarket segment show you the performance in chains like Outland, Sprouts Farmers Market, or certain large regional natural food chains that meet the criteria, but it doesn't include whole food. In essence, these SPINS segments allow natural and organic brands to precisely track their performance in the specific type of large format retailers that is fully committed to their category, providing cleaner insight than if the data were branded in all grocery stores. A few more general points about the market. When I say about that no channel total is available or that a retailer does not cooperate, I'm talking about POS data. It is possible that additional information can be obtained from Nelson's Circana household panel, which is based on the sample of 100,000 or households where everything is self-scanned at home and every retailer is reported. However, the panel data is much more expensive and less robust than POS data, such as not appropriate for weekly tracking, frequently will have inadequate sample size at the UPC level. Both Nelson's and Circana provide a multi-channel aggregate which represent as close as they get total total US FMCG sales. When you read articles in the press citing syndicated data, you will see the quick pick market names.
Cryptic
market names called MOLO and XAOC. We have a post all about this multi-channel market. I'm not going to into details here. Here's a summary to help you check some of the details discussed above. this post, I've tried to provide as much as detail as possible that I'm going out on a climb in terms of accuracy. Since things can change quickly in the world of syndicated data, the best way to know what exactly available to contact is to contact data vendors and ask them. He updated his article talking about some additional data exception and restriction from Kurt Gepter. The existence of a dedicated military channel within the CBG industry often surprises those outside the field, but it makes complete sense from a logistical, economical, and demographic perspective. In essence, the military channel is a distinct retail segment because it serves a massive, captive, and unique consumer base through a closed, self-contained network of stores. It's not just a store on a base. It is a multi-billion-dollar retail system. Self-contained. That everything is needed within itself. A self-contained person does not have a large number of relationships with other people or does not depend on others for support. She is very self-contained and isn't at all worried about moving to a big city where she won't know anybody. Here's a detailed breakdown of why it exists as a separate channel for data providers like Nelson's IQ and Circana, and why CPG companies have dedicated teams for it. It is a massive captive audience. The US military and its dependents represent a huge population concentrated in specific locations. Scale. There are over 1.3 million active duty personnel and over 700,000 civilians. Civilian who is not a member of the police, or the armed force. An ordinary person who is not famous or is not member of a particular group.
Civilian.
The bomb kills 4 soldiers and 3 civilians. Civilians. Bombing civilians.
Civilian.
Bombing civilians. Civilians is a crime against humanity. Civilian personnel are non-uniformed, non-military employees who work for public service organizations. Civilian personnel are non-uniformed, non-military employees who work for public service organizations such as police force, military departments, or government agencies in a variety of roles that support their operation. They are hired because the military or police don't have enough people or the necessary skills because the job doesn't require a uniform officer. Key characteristics of a civilian personnel. Non-military, they are not the members of the armed service. Non-uniformed, they do not wear uniform of military or police service. Supports roles, they fill positions such as clerks.
Clerk.
Clerk.
Clerk. Clock.
Clock.
Clerk. Clerk.
Clerk. Clerk. Dispatchers. Manager. Dispatchers. A person is supposed to receive a message and organize movement of people or vehicle, especially in the emergency service. A person is responsible for sending out people or vehicles to where they are needed, especially in emergency service. He has been ambulance dispatcher for 10 years, working in central control room. Dispatcher, right. And other specialized role like technicians, engineer, and security officers. Hired for specific skills or needs. Their employment fills gaps where military or uniformed personnel are not needed or don't possess the required expertise. In police force, clerk, dispensers, administrative staff, and by law enforcement officers. In military or government departments, technicians, engineers, security personnel, administrative staff, and other professionals. Captive market. unique retail environment to exchange system. Military base don't have standard Walmart or Quaker stores. They have their own proprietary system. Army Air Force Exchange Service operates stores PX and BX for the Army and Air Force. Navy Exchange Service Command operates stores for the Navy and Marine Corps. Marine Corps Exchange also serves the Marine Corps. These exchanges are massive. The main store on the large base can be the size of a major big box retailer. They are hybrids of a grocery store, department store, and electronics retailer. Different economics and pricing. Cost plus pricing. Exchange typically operates as on a cost plus pricing model. They buy products from manufacturers, then add a standard markup, which is historically lower than off-base retailers. This is a key benefit for military family. Someone's accused you for falsely cheating on exam. Incorrect. Wrong. Low local tax. Sales of military installation are tax-free, providing another significant price advantage. Profits reinvestment, 100% of the earnings of this exchange are reinvested into morale, welfare, recreation programs for the military community. This means spending the money at the PX directly funds community service, gyms, and youth centers and other amenities on base.
Amenity.
And other amenities on base. These same consumer packaged goods needs. The military population has a different demographic profile and therefore different consumption patterns. Demographics. The community is significantly younger, more athletically diverse.
Ethnically
diverse, and has a higher concentration of families with young children compared to the general US population. Product preference. This influences everything from the types of baby food and snacks sold to the popularity of energy drinks, performance nutrition products, specific personal care items, private labels. Exchange have their own strong private label brands, such as Exchange Basics, Home Trademark, that compete directly with national brands for shelf space. Complex and unique supply chain sales process. Selling to the military channel is nothing like selling to Walmart. Centralized buying, AAFES, and the NESCOM have centralized buying office. A sales team doesn't call on individual base store. They negotiate with a central headquarters for the entire chain. Authorized distributors. CPG companies often must use specific distributors that are authorized to deliver onto military installation, which involves rigorous security and logistic protocols.
rigorous,
Careful to look at every or consider every part of sentence to make certain it is correct.
rigorous,
Rigorous. Direct store delivery. The ability for Pepsi or Frito-Lay route driver to simply show up, stock the stuff, and enforce the store is heavily restricted or non-existent for on many bases. Shipping to a central warehouse is the norm.
route, 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 route,
Right.
ruder,
Router. Router.
ruder,
Router. Route. Route.
route,
Route. Frito-Lay. 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 The American food company that manufactures snack foods. Frito-Lay. Lay. Smart Foods. Doritos. Cheetos. Fritos. Waffles. Pips, Pepsico. Pepsico. Parrot, okay. Frito-Lay is an American food company that manufactures, markets, and sells snack foods. It began in the early 1930s as two separate companies, the Frito Company and Frito-Lay itself merged with Pepsi-Cola companies in 1965 to create PepsiCo. Since the merger, Frito-Lay operates as a wholly owned subsidiary of PepsiCo. The primary snack food brands produced under Frito-Lay named include Fritos and Fritos corn chips, Cheetos, Doritos. Simply show up, stock the stuff, and import the store is heavily restricted and non-existent. Why it is a separate channel in Nelson's IQ Circana data? It is a quarks.
crux,
Crux. Crux. Crux.
crux,
Crux. Crux. This is crux.
crux,
Crux. This is the crux of your questions. Data provider breaks it out because it behaves so differently. Performance tracking. A brand manager needs to know, is my product growing because it is doing well at Walmart or because it is doing well on military bases. There are two separate different stories requiring different strategies. Market shares analysis. You can only know your true market shares within the military channels if the data is separate from the mass merchandise or grocery channel data. Promotional evaluation. Promotions are planned and executed centrally with AAFES and NEXCOM, not with individual store managers. Its effectiveness needs to be measured in isolation. In conclusion, the military channel exists because of the multi-billion-dollar retailer ecosystem with its own unique rules. logistic, consumer, and economic model. For CPG companies, treating it as something other than a separate strategic channel would be missing a huge opportunity to fundamentally misunderstanding a critical part of their business. This is a fundamental concept in CPG logistics and sales. Let's break down direct store delivery with a detailed example, and then explain how Nelson's actually measure it, which is a unique channel. What is direct store delivery? DSD is a distribution method where manufacturers bypass retailers' central warehouse and deliver products directly to the retail stores. The DSD supplier's employee is often responsible for stocking the shelves, managing inventory, and ensuring the product is displayed correctly. Key characteristics of DSD: direct to shelf. The supplier's driver or sales representative physically place the product on the store's shelf. Inventory management. The DSD supplier often manages the inventory level in the store, deciding how much to stock. Frequency. Deliveries are very frequent, often multiple times a week. Prototype. Common for products like perishable, bread, soda, milk, snacks, beer, high turnover, candy, chips, certain beverages, merchandise intensive, require special display, special cooler for new energy drink. Detailed example: Snacko or grocery giant. Let's imagine two companies. Snacko, a major chip and snack manufacturer that use DSD. Grocery giant, a large national supermarket chain. We process Snacko's weekly routine. Wood panning.
Route.
Wood panning. Snacko route driver is assigned a list of stores, including a specific grocery giant location. Pre-delivery check. The driver loads their truck with a variety of Snacko products based on the forecast and past sales data for that specific store. at the store, the drivers arrive at grocery giant, check the receiving dock, check in the receiving dock, and grabs a hand truck. Hand trucks, receiving dock, okay, receiving dock. Stocking the shelves. The drivers go directly to snack aisles. They don't drop off boxes. They check current stock level on the shelf. Remove outdated and damaged products. Face the product, put them in front of to look neat. Put them to the front to look neat. Stock the shelf with new products from their delivery. May set up a special promotion display. End cap or 2 feet. A $2 for $5 sign. $2 for $5 sign. Transaction. The driver presents the store manager with a paper or electronic invoice for the exact products that they stock. The invoice is verified and processed for data connection. The driver's record what was delivered and often what was left on the shelf. And this data is sent back to Snackco headquarters. Contrast with warehouse delivery. A canned soup company will ship pallets of its product to grocery giant central distribution warehouse. Grocery giant's own employee will then order it from the warehouse, receive it at the store, unload it and stock it on the shelf themselves. How Nelson's IQ measure DSD is a significant challenge. decision to use a direct store delivery system is a major strategic one for a CPG company when it involves significant investment in the fleet, drivers, and technology. Fleet.
Fleet.
A group of ships or all the ships in a country navy.
Fleet.
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 Fleet. Fleet. A group of bus. A number of bus aircraft under the control of one person. A fleet. Drivers, in terms of the advantage, can be substantial. Involves a significant, particular for specific type of product. Here are the key advantages for a CPG company using DSD, explained in detail. Superior product freshness and quality control. This is the most critical advantage for perishable goods. How it works. The company controls the entire journey from production to shelf. They can manage inventory tightly and ensure high rotation and avoid selling products that are near their expiration date. A bread company like Pepperidge Farm use DSD. Their route drivers are trained to remove any stale, no longer new or fresh, usually as a result of being kept for too long. Stale or outdated loaf.
Loaves.
Bread or cake that is shaped and baked in a single piece and can be sliced or eaten.
Loaf.
From the shelf before restocking with fresh ones. This ensures the consumers always get a fresh product, protecting the brand's reputation for quality. This level of control is impossible if the bread was sitting in a retailer's warehouse for days. Enhanced in-store presence and merchandising. DSD, direct store delivery. Puts the manufacturer's employees DSD puts the manufacturer's employees directly in front of the shelf, which is invaluable. Real estate, which is invaluable real estate. How it works. The driver, salesperson, is a brand ambassador. They are responsible for stocking and ensuring the product is fully stocked and neatly present, faced forward, building displays, setting up eye-catching secondary displays, anchor shippers, coolers. And coolers to drive impulse purchase, secure prime placement, negotiating directly with the store manager for better shelf placement or more placement. Example, a Frito-Lay representative doesn't just drop off chips. They build large attractive displays for major events like Super Bowl or back to school season, directly raising sales volume for that store in a way store employee might not have time to do. Retail out reduce out of stocks. Out of stocks means lost sales for the manufacturer and the retailer. DSD drastically reduce this problem. How it works? Because the DSD drivers visit the stores multiple times a week. They can closely monitor inventory levels and replenish stock before it runs out. This is far more responsive than waiting a store employee to place an order through the retailer's warehouse system. Example, during a heat wave, Coca-Cola DSD drivers notice a store is selling through Coke Zero faster than usual. On the next visit, likely the next day, they can bring extra product to meet the surge in demand, capitalizing on the opportunity instantly. Faster time to market and agile distribution. DSD allows for incredibly quick rollout of new products and promotions. How it works? The company can immediately instruct its networks of drivers to start distributing a new product or promotional materials. There's no need to navigate the retailer's complex warehouse ordering and distribution system, which can take weeks. There's no need to navigate the retailer complex warehouse and ordering and distribution system, which can take weeks. For example, when PepsiCo launched a new limited time mango flavor, its DSD network can have the product on shelf nationwide in a matter of days, ensuring a synchronized market burst and maximizing the impact of the launch.
Blast.
Blast, to explode or destroy something or someone with explosive, to break through or hit something with a similar strong force. Blast, to explode or destroy something or someone with explosive. Blast through an explosion, blast through the world. Blast something into something. They blast tunnels into the side of the mountains. He thought he was a greasy bear and blasted with his
Rifle.
Valuable real-time market intelligence. The DSD network acts as a massive on-the-ground intelligence gathering operation. How it works? Drivers and sales representatives are the eyes and ears of the companies. They report back on competitive activities. Is a competitor running a promotion or launching a new product? Pricing. What are the actual on-shelf prices? Consumer trends. What's selling well and what isn't specific neighborhood. Example, a beer distributor's rep might notice that a local craft IPA is selling exceptionally well in a specific area. They can relay this information back to their head office. Repeat something you have heard, or to broadcast a signal message program, television factor, which can then make data-driven decisions. which brands to promote more healthily. Stronger retailer relationships. The DSD model creates a partnership rather than a pure transactional relationship. How it works: the driver, salesperson build a direct personal relationship with the store manager. They become reliable resources, providing service and taking labor-intensive tasks like stocking and inventory management off the manager plate. A store manager knows they can rely on the Wonder Bread drivers to keep the bread aisles perfectly stocked and clean. This goodwill can make the manager more receptive to the driver's suggestion for new products and promotions. Improved cash flow. How it works: in many DSD models, the drivers present an invoice upon delivery. This can lead to faster payment in terms compared to waiting for a centralized payment process for the retailer's headquarters after a warehouse delivery. The strategic trade-off benefit to the CPG company: protect freshness and quality, protect brand equality, protect brand equity, reduce spoilage, and build consumer trust. In-store presence drives higher sales through better merchandising and impulse buys. Reduce out of stocks, captures every possible sales and maximize revenue. Speed to market allows agile launch and promotions to capitalize on trends, provide real-time ground-level data for better decision-making, create partnership leverage, and ensure cooperation. The catch: the disadvantage come at very high cost. Maintaining a fleet of trucks, hiring, training drivers, salespeople, and manage a complex logistic operation is incredibly expensive. Therefore, DSD is a typical only justified for products like high turnover, perishable, high margin, and require specialized merchandising such as snacks, soda, beer, bread, sundial. For CPG companies with the right product portfolio, however, the investment in DSD is a powerful competitive moat.
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 Moat. Competitive moat. Competitive moat that is very difficult for competitors using traditional warehouse distribution to overcome. So how Nelson's IQ measure DSD? This significant challenge. Measuring DSD. How Nelson's IQ measure DSD is a significant challenge. Measuring DSD is notoriously difficult for a third-party data company like Nelson's IQ. Here's why and how they do it. The core problem: the transaction happens directly between suppliers, Snapco, and the stores. It is not recorded in the retailer's central point of sales system at the time of sales, which is Nelson's IQ primary source of data for non-DSD items. Nelson's measurement method. Nelson's IQ uses a multi-pronged approach.
Pronged.
Pronged, having the stage of number of pronged. Pronged are 2 to 3 pronged. Planned involves 2 to 3 difficult ways to achieve the same aim. Pronged. Prong, pieces of step on a flock. Multi-pronged.
Pronged.
Multi-pronged approach to model DSD sales because no single method provides a complete picture. Shipment data from DSD suppliers to primary source. This is the most important method. Nelson's IQ established partnership with a large DSD manufacturer, such as PepsiCo, Frito-Lay, Coca-Cola, US Food. US Food. Okay. Etc. These suppliers provide Nelson's IQ with their aggregate shipment data, what they ship to which stores and when. Limitation. This data reflects what was sent to the store, not necessarily what was sold through the register to a customer, to a consumer. It doesn't account for thefts, damage, spoilage at the stores. Panel-based measurement, the consumer track. Nelson's use home scan consumer panel to fill the gap. Panelists scan the purchase at home. If panel data shows that consumers are buying a lot of specific DSD product in a specific region, but the shipment data from the supplier is low, the Nelson's IQ can use this, calibrate and validate its model. Limitation: the panel is a simple loss of senses, so it can have statistically variability. Statistical variability. Statistical variability, especially for low volume products or in small geographics. Number 3, retailers' POS data integration, where possible. For some modern DSD operations, especially in larger chains, the DSD invoice is integrated in the retailer inventory system. Once the DSD product is scanned at the checkout, the sales is recorded in the retailer's POS system, just like other products. In this case, Nelson's IQ can capture the sales data directly. Once the DSD product is scanned at the checkout, the sales is recorded in the retailer's POS system, just like other products. However, the initial receiving inventory data still come from supplier shipments records, modeling and estimation for smaller DSD suppliers who do not share their data directly. Nelsons must model their sales. They do this by looking at the performance of similar products from cooperating DSD suppliers in similar stores and channels, and then applying those trends to estimate sales for non-reporting brands. How the data is presented to an analyst. When you look at Nelson's report for category like salty snacks or soft drinks, the sales data for DSD brands. When you look at Nelson's report for category like salty snack or soft drinks, the sales data for DSD brands, Lay's, Pepsi, is a fusion of supplier provide shipment data and panel data. The sales for non-DSD brands are canned soup or jarred pasta sauce comes directly from retailers, POS scans. Nelson's IQ methodology is designed to blend these two sources seamlessly so that an analyst get a complete and accurate picture of the entire category. Even though the blend these two sources seamlessly so that the analysts get a complete and accurate picture of the entire category, even though the data is collected in two completely different ways. In summary, DSD is a supplier-driven distribution model, and Nelson's IQ measure it by directly going to those suppliers for their data and using its consumer panel and retail POS data to calibrate and validate the number, ensuring the report market shares and sales figures are as accurate as possible. Okay, that's it. See you next time.